This is a great example of what it means to be a childhood trauma survivor passing on their trauma to their children, as opposed to being a childhood trauma survivor who intentionally hurts their children, becomes an abuser. When we're unhealed, or even at the beginning of our healing journey, we make decisions that impact other people based on our knowledge of ourselves and our wounds. As a child abuse survivor, when I allowed my family access to my children, it was simply because I knew that my children didn't deserve to be abused and that they were good, and I could not imagine my mother, for example, doing anything to hurt my children the way she hurt me, because I deserved it and they didn't. I didn't understand at that point in time that when somebody abuses you, it is solely because of who they are, not because of who their victim is. And it isn't until we start to heal and understand that we start to make better decisions. And this is where I talk about, the things that I forgive myself for. Because if I had a do-over, I would have gone no contact before having my children, or immediately upon having my children. I would have never allowed those relationships to happen. And I'm just grateful for the fact that at the tender age of 23, I realized what my mother was doing, and that my children were in harm's way when they were 6 and 3 years old, and I went no contact. But I realized that also because of the fact that I was in a relationship with someone who pointed that out to me. If not for that, it would have gone on longer. And I would have had to own that. Even though what I was doing was unintentional, that would have been a byproduct of my trauma and me passing it on. So for everybody else out there, I want you to realize the takeaway that I want you to have beyond self-forgiveness, which I think is so important, is that there was never a moment in time where the abuse was about you. It was done to you. But abusers will abuse anyone that they have access to, because that is who they are. It's not about who you are. It was never your fault. It could never be your fault. It is not your fault.